May the cows be fertile and abundant in milk, the oxen carriers of heavy load, the coursers swift, the women kind and generous, and may the children people of this Yajamana, the ruler, be brave and fearless, victorious riders of the chariot, and youthful and civilized members of the council. May the clouds rain in showers for us according to the need of the seasons. May the herbs and trees mature and ripen with abundant fruit, and may this land be securely blessed with a ceaseless cycle of growth and protection, of happiness and prosperity. Shukla Yajurved 22.22. Translation by Dr. Tulsi Ram. 3. Although its primary focus is on the yajnas, the Yajurved also serves as a repository of various astronomical and mathematical observations. It includes a comprehensive list of constellations, nakshatras, and seasons, rutus, as well as references to the concept of Adhika Mas, intercalary month. For a detailed discussion on the significance of these observations, refer to the chapter on Jyotisha. Additionally, the text contains references to various mathematical concepts. Months Rutu Madhumadha Vasanta Shukra Shuchi Grishma Nabhas Nabhasya Varsha Ishas Urjas Sharad Sahas Sahasya Hemant Tapas Tapasya Shishira. Do it yourself. Find out the season behind the classification of Yajurveda into Krishna and Shukla. To explore the mathematical concept found in Sri Rudra, a section of Krishna Yajurveda, refer to the following video. Content of Yajurvedic Samhita. Prayers, yajnas, scientific observations. Brahmanas. The renowned Brahmana of this Veda is known as Shatapatha, as it comprises 100 chapters. It describes significant yajnas such as Darsha Purnamasa, Somayaga, Rajasuya, Ashwamedha, and the 5 Mahayajnas. Further details of some of these rituals can be found in the chapter on Kalpa. While explaining the yajnas, Shatapatha Brahmana narrates several stories, one of the most well-known being that of Manu. According to the text, Manu saved a small fish from being devoured by larger ones, and in return, the fish, having grown into a mighty being, rescued Manu from a great flood. This account is recognized as the Matsya incarnation of Lord Vishnu and is further elaborated in the Mahabharata and the Puranas. Scholars interpret the imagery of large fish preying on smaller ones as a representation of Matsya Nyaya, the law of fishes, which symbolizes a state where the weak are oppressed by the powerful. It is the ruler's duty to prevent such exploitation, just as Manu safeguarded the small fish. Do it yourself. Research the story of Matsya from various sources and compare it with the version found in the Shatapatha Brahmana. Additionally, explore similar narratives from other cultures and analyze their common themes and variations. Aranyakas. The Bruhat and Taittiriya Aranyakas of Yajurveda are well known. They contain Upanishads of the same name, which will be explored further. These texts discuss various rituals, austerities, and while also explaining the philosophical significance of mantras and yajnas. Do you know? While explaining the philosophical significance of a yajna, Taittiriya Aranyaka 10.80.1 states that the Atman is Yajman, sacrificer, Shraddha, faith, is the Patni, wife, the body is the sacrificial fuel, the chest is the Yajnavedi, altar, speech is the Hota, invoking priest, eyes are the Advaryu, officiating priest, vital airs are the Udgata, chanting priest, and the mind is the Brahma, chief priest, among other symbolic associations. Upanishads, Katha Upanishad. The story of Nachiketas in this Upanishad highlights the unwavering determination of a young boy who fearlessly questioned his father and had the courage to confront Yama, the god of death, in his own abode. Impressed by his persistence, Yama grants him three boons. Nachiketa seizes this opportunity to ask profound questions about the purpose of life to Yama, which form the central theme of the Upanishad. It imparts the wisdom that fleeting pleasures, prayers must be renounced in pursuit of higher lasting goals. Shreyas. Story Nachiketas and Yama. Once Vajashravas, the father of Nachiketas, decided to give away all his possessions as gifts. Among these, he also donated barren cows. Disturbed by the consequences of such an offering, Nachiketas felt compelled to make his father realize his mistake. He repeatedly asked his father to whom he would give him Nachiketas. Irritated by his persistent questioning, his father, in a moment of anger, declared that he would give him to Yama, the god of death. Although his father's words were spoken in a fit of rage, Nachiketas chose to honor them and set out for Yama's abode. Upon his arrival, he found that Yama was not present and they waited there for 3 days and nights, which when Yama finally returned, he was deeply impressed by Nachiketas' patience and determination. As a gesture of respect, he welcomed him warmly and granted him three boons in return for the 3 days and nights he had waited. As his first boon, Nachiketas wished for his father's anger to subside. For the second, he sought to learn Agni Vidya, the knowledge of the sacred fire that leads to Swarga, heaven. Recognizing his keen interest and eligibility, Yama imparted this knowledge to him. For his third boon, Nachiketas asked to understand the mystery of death. In response, Yama explained that this was a profoundly intricate subject, one that even the gods found difficult to comprehend, and urged him to request another boon instead. However, Nachiketas remained resolute. Yama attempted to dissuade him by offering material wealth and prosperity, but Nachiketas perceived these as transient and refused to be distracted. Impressed by his unwavering determination, Yama finally granted him the knowledge of death, the true nature of the self, and the importance of self discipline and control over the senses. Taittiriya Upanishad. This Upanishad is divided into three chapters known as Vallis. The chapter called Shikshavalli contains insights on phonetics and instructions for graduating Vedic students, guiding them in their future endeavors. Below are a few quotations that remain highly relevant to students today. The convocation ceremony of Vedic students. Having taught the Veda, the teacher instructs the pupil: speak the truth, practice virtue. Let there be no neglect of your daily reading. Having brought to the teacher the wealth that is pleasing to him, do not cut off the thread of the offspring. Let there be no neglect of truth. Let there be no neglect of virtue. Let there be no neglect of welfare. Let there be no neglect of prosperity. Let there be no neglect of study and teaching. Let there be no neglect of the duties to the gods and the fathers. Be one to whom the mother is a god. Be one to whom the father is a god. Be one to whom the teacher is a god. Be one to whom the guest is a god. Whatever deeds are blameless, they are to be practiced, not others. Whatever good practices there are among us, they are to be adopted by you, not others. Then, if there is in you any doubt regarding any deeds, any doubt regarding conduct, you should behave yourself in such matters as the Brahmanas there who are competent to judge, devoted to good deeds, not led by others, not harsh, lovers of virtue, would behave in such cases. This is the command, this is the teaching, this is the secret doctrine of the Veda. Translation by S. Radhakrishnan. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It is a treasure trove of stories rich in Vedic philosophy. It includes the renowned conversation between the sage Yajnavalkya and his wife Maitreyi. Another significant story narrates how the three sons of Prajapati interpret the same instruction from their father in three different ways. In essence, the text is filled with profound dialogues and intellectual debates. Story. The threefold offspring of Prajapati, gods, men, and demons, lived with their father Prajapati as students of sacred knowledge. Having completed their studentship, the gods said, "Please tell, instruct us, sir." To them, then he uttered the syllable the and asked, "How you have you understood?" They said, "We have understood. You said to us, Damyata, control yourselves." He said, "Yes, you have understood." Then the men said to him, "Please tell, instruct us, sir." To them he uttered the same syllable, the, and asked, "Have you understood?" They said, "We have understood. You said us to give." He said, "Yes, you have understood." Then the demon said to him, "Please tell, instruct us, sir." To them he uttered the same syllable, the, and asked, "Have you understood?" They said, "We have understood. You said to us, Dayadhvam, be compassionate." He said, "Yes, you have understood." This very thing the heavenly voice of thunder repeats, the. that is, control yourself, give, be compassionate. One should practice this same triad: self control, giving, and compassion. Translation by S. Radhakrishnan. Do it yourself. What do you learn from the story mentioned above? Elaborate. Ishavasya Upanishad. It is one of the shortest Upanishad, yet it is rich in philosophical content. This concise Upanishad is considered to encapsulate the essence of all the Upanishads. It discusses the twofold spiritual paths, that of karma and jnana. We have already explored karma and jnana in the introductory chapters of the Vedas. Conclusion. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That is Ishavasya Upanishad. That is full. This is full. The full comes out of the full. Taking the full from the full itself remains. Om peace, peace, peace. Translation by S. Radhakrishnan. यजुर्वेद कृष्ण यजुर्वेद संहिता ब्राह्मण आरण्यक उपनिषद तैत्रीय काठक कल्पसूत्र श्रौत सूत्र गृह्य सूत्र धर्म सूत्र कल्पसूत्र श्रौत सूत्र गृह्य सूत्र बौधायन भारद्वाज आपस्तंभ वैखानस हिरण्यकेशी वाधूल मानव वाराह and Maitrayani and Kapishthala Katha. Kapishthala Katha. Katha. Kapishthala Katha. Kapisthala Katha. Krishna Yajurved. Then here. Tetriya. Aranyaka and Brahman. कठ तैत्रीय उपनिषद मैत्रायणी उपनिषद श्वेताश्वेतर उपनिषद संहिता कण्व संहिता माध्यन्दिन संहिता वाजसनेयी संहिता कात्यायन श्रौतसूत्र पारस्कर गृह्य सूत्र ब्राह्मण शतपथ आरण्यक उपनिषद बृहदारण्यक ईश महावाक्य अहम ब्रह्मास्मि सामवेद 1.3 वेदानां सामवेदोऽस्मि I am Samaved among Vedas, says Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. As discussed in the introduction, Samaveda is a collection of hymns sung to please the Devatas when the oblations are offered. The majority of these hymns are borrowed from Rigveda. However, Samaveda's hymns have a musical scale similar to the scales of classical music. Most hymns are sung using 5 scales, though in some cases 7 scales are also employed. The hymns are rendered accordingly. Do you know? The Samaved is regarded as the foundation of Indian music. According to the Natya Shastra, the music used in Natya dramatic performances is derived from the Samaveda. Samhita. Saman literally means something that is pleasing. The hymns of Samaveda were sung to please the Devatas. Since most of the hymns of Samaveda Samhita are borrowed from the Rigveda Samhita, there is no significant difference in their content. Brahmana. The Samaveda has several Brahmanas that elaborate on Soma and other yagas. So, Samavedika chanting, the significance of Om, and the recitation of the famous Gayatri Mantra. To illustrate these concepts, they incorporate various narratives. Additionally, some texts address more practical subjects. For instance, the Panchavinsha Brahman references geometric series. Further discussions on mathematical concepts can be found in the chapter on Kalpa under the section on Shulva Sutra story. The significance of Om. Gods are said to have complained to Prajapati for having created death and evil immediately after them. They wanted to escape from these both, wanted to be immortal and also free of all evils. Prajapati advised them to enter into meters, chandas, in order to escape from death and evil. But the death chased them into the meters where they hid themselves. They ultimately entered the tone Swara and then Om, whereupon they were permanently separated from death and evil. In the same way, says the Brahman, one can escape from death and evil if one could enter into the secret of Om and resort under that immortality that burns yonder. एवमेवैवं विद्वान् ओमित्येतदेवाक्षरं समारुह्य यददोऽमृतं तपति तत्प्रपद्य ततो मृत्युना पाप्मना व्यावर्तते. Narration by Dr. B. Ramachandra Sharma. Aranyaka. The Aranyaka of this Veda explores Sama chanting and the significance of Om. As also discussed in its Brahmanas, it conveys these teachings through engaging narratives that provide deeper explanations. Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad. It discusses both worship and philosophical concepts, serving as a guide. It elaborates on the significance of Samavedic chanting and is renowned for the profound statement on the oneness of individual and supreme self, Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. Like other Upanishads, it conveys the teachings through storytelling. One such compelling story is presented below. The sage Raikva, the king Janashruti, and two swans. There was once a generous king named Janashruti who ensured that free food was available to everyone in his kingdom. One night, two swans perched on the terrace of his palace. One swan cautioned the other, saying, "The glory, tejas of Janashruti has spread everywhere. Do not touch it, or it may burn you." In response, the other swan remarked, "This poor king is inferior to the sage Raikva. You must not have heard of Raikva's greatness, which is why you are praising this king." Overhearing this conversation, Janashruti ordered his servants to search for Raikva. Once they found him, the king approached the sage with numerous gifts and pleaded, O sage, I have brought these offerings for you. Please accept them and guide me in the worship of the deity who has blessed you with such glory. Raikwa dismissed him, saying, O ignorant one, keep your gifts. I have no need for them. Disheartened, the king returned. Determined, Janashruti visited Raikwa again, this time bringing even more gifts along with his daughter, and repeated his request. The sage rebuked him, O fool, do you think the knowledge of Brahman can be bought with wealth? Realizing his mistake, the humbled king sincerely sought true wisdom, seeing that Janashruti had developed seeing that Janashruti has developed the right disposition, Raikva finally instructed him in Brahma Vidya, the supreme knowledge of the self. Do it yourself. What did you learn from this story? Elaborate. Find the story of Uddalaka and his son Shvetaketu, in which Uddalaka instructs his son using simple everyday examples from his surroundings. Do you know? The story of the two swans, along with similar narratives from various Upanishads, can be considered the foundation of fables. These early stories later evolved into well developed literary work such as the Panchatantra. Kena Upanishad. It is called Kena as it begins with the word Kena, meaning by whom. This Upanishad is rich in philosophical concepts, often conveyed through stories. One such narrative illustrates that the Supreme Self Brahman is beyond expression and that all the powers possessed by the gods originate from Brahman, the ultimate creator. Story. Brahman and Uma, the daughter of Himavat. Once Brahman secured victory for the Devas. However, the Devas mistook this triumph as their own and forgot Brahman's role. To dispel their false pride, Brahman manifested before them in the form of a Yaksha. Curious about the Yaksha's identity, the Devas sent Agni to investigate. When Agni asked the Yaksha who he was, the Yaksha encountered by asking Agni to reveal his own identity. To demonstrate his power, Agni attempted to burn a blade of grass with all his might but failed. Defeated, he returned. Next, Vayu was sent on the same mission. Despite his efforts, he could not even move the blade of grass. He too returned unsuccessful. Finally, Indra went to uncover the Yaksha's identity. However, upon his arrival, the Yaksha had vanished. Instead, the goddess Uma appeared before him. When Indra inquired about the Yaksha, Uma revealed that it was none other than Brahman. Realizing the truth, Indra, along with Agni, Vayu, and others, understood the greatness of Brahman and were humbled. Their false pride was thus dispelled. Do it yourself. This story conveys the profound concept of Brahman through a simple narrative. Engage in discussions to deepen your understanding of this concept and its significance. Conclusion. य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let those truths which are set forth in the Upanishads live in me, dedicated to the self. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. Translation by S. Radhakrishnan, Kena Upanishad. Samaveda 1810 Saman. Samhita Kauthuma राणायनीय जैमिनीय ब्राह्मण तांड्य पंचविंश षड्विंश जैमिनीय सात्यायन शात्यायन Upanishad Chandogya and Kena Mahavakya Tatvamasi. And here Latyayana Shrauta Sutra, Gobhila Gruhya Sutra, Drayayana Shrauta Sutra, Khadira Gruhya Sutra, Jaiminiya Shrauta Sutra and Jaiminiya Gruhya Sutra. Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda is the fourth Veda, encompassing a wide range of subjects with a particular emphasis on practical and worldly matters. It is believed to have been revealed to two groups of sages, Atharvana and Angirasa, which is why it is named Atharva Veda. Let us learn about the four portions of this Veda. Samhita. Around the sixth of hymns of this Samhita are borrowed from the Rig Veda. It deals with topics varying from health and politics to ethics and philosophy. Although only some portions of it deals with abhichara, harming enemies, it is wrongly stereotyped as a work on black magic. Let us explore its four main sections. 1. There are numerous hymns in the Atharva Veda dedicated to prayers for longevity, health, and overall well being. Below is an example of such a hymn. पश्येम शरदशतं जीवेम शरदशतं बुद्धेम शरदशतं रोहेम शरदशतं पूषेम शरदशतं भवेम शरदशतं भूयेम शरदशतं भूयसी शरदशतं. 19.67. For 100 autumns may we see, for 100 autumns may we live, for 100 autumns may we know, for 100 autumns may we rise, for 100 autumns may we flourish, for 100 autumns may we be, for 100 autumns may we become, and even more than 100 autumns. Translation by R.L. Kashyapa. Second, some mantras in the Atharva Veda contain glorification and praise of the motherland. Bhumi Sukta is a renowned example of such hymns. Let us see a few quotations from it. Earth contains the sea, the river, and other waters. Men of action produce the food. All that breathes and moves take delight in the earth. May she confer on us the supreme drink of immortality. On earth, Men of old performed their original works. Here Devas overwhelmed the Asuras. The cows, horses, and birds stay on her. May earth establish in us enjoyment, bhoga, and splendor. 12.1 Translation by R.L. Kashyap. Do it yourself. Read pages 33 to 35 from the following book to know more about the significance of Bhumi Sukta. Archive. Watch the following video to know about more about Bhumi Sukta. Link is given. 3. Certain hymns are rich in philosophical reflections and include prayers for universal peace. Shanti Sukta is a prominent example of such hymns. पृथिवी शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिर्द्यौ शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिर्वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे मे देवा देवाः शान्तिः सर्वे मे देवाः शान्तिः 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 शान्तिभिः यदिह घोरं यदिह क्रूरं यदिह पापं तच्छान्तं तच्छिवं सर्वमेव शमस्तु. Peace be to earth and the mid-world. 1. Peace be to heaven, peace to the waters, peace to the plants, and peace to the trees. May all gods grant me peace. May all the gods grant me peace. By this invocation of peace, may peace be diffused. By this invocation of peace, may peace bring peace. May they become peaceful to me. Whatever appears as dreadful, cruel, or evil, so that peace may prevail, happiness prevail. May everything for us be peaceful. Translation by R.L. Kashyap. 4. As with the other three Vedas, the Atharvaveda also contains numerous observations on natural phenomena. For instance, it provides a comprehensive list of nakshatras 19.7.225. To understand the significance of nakshatras, refer to the chapter of on Jyotisha. Additionally, the Atharvaveda addresses various topics including health and wellness. Brahmana. The Atharvaveda's Brahmana is known as the Gopatha. While it primarily discusses yajnas such as Darshapurnamasa and Somayaga, it also elaborates on the creation of the world, the duties of a brahmachari, Vedic student, grammatical concepts and significance of Pranava, Om and the Gayatri mantra. Like other Vedic texts, it also contains several narratives. Aranyaka. Atharvaveda does not have an Aranyaka. Upanishads. Prashna Upanishad. As the name indicates, this Upanishad revolves around prashnas, questions. It comprises 6 questions posed by 6 students to their guru. The responses to these 6 questions form the 6 chapters of this Upanishad. The inquiries pertain to subjects such as creation, meditation, and the true nature of the self. Mundak Upanishad. The central theme of this Upanishad revolves around the seeker's fundamental question, knowing what can everything be known. In response, the text expounds on the true nature of the self and the twofold spiritual paths of jnana, knowledge, and karma, action. This Upanishad employs a profound symbolism. The Jivatman, individual self, and the Paramatman, supreme self, are depicted as two eternal friends, represented as birds perched on the same tree, which symbolizes the body. While one bird partakes in the sweet fruits of the tree, experiencing the joys and sorrows of past actions, the other remains serene, merely observing. The Paramatman remains unaffected by actions, imperishable, pure, and of the nature of ultimate knowledge and freedom. One who realizes the essential oneness between Jivatma and Paramatman attains liberation. द्वा सुपर्णा सयुजा सखाया समानं वृक्षं परिषस्वजाते तयोरन्यः पिप्पलं स्वाद्वत्या नश्नन्नन्योऽभिचाकसीति समाने वृक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नो निशया शोचति मुह्यमानः जुष्टं यदा पश्यत्यन्यमीशमस्य महिमानमिति वीतशोकः 3.1.1 and 2. Two birds, companions who are always united, cling to the same tree. Of these two, the one eats the sweet fruits and the other looks on without eating. On the same tree, a person immersed in the sorrows of the world is deluded and grieves on account of his helplessness. When he sees the other, the Lord, who is worshipped, and his greatness, he becomes freed from sorrow. Translation by S. Radhakrishnan. Do you know the renowned quotation, Satyameva Jayate Nanrutam? Truth alone triumphs, not falsehood, is derived from this Upanishad. It has been adopted as the national motto of India. Mandukya Upanishad. This Upanishad consists of 12 verses. The 3 letters of Om symbolizes the 3 states of the self, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. It further elaborates on Om, identifying it with the entire universe, the Supreme Self, and the individual self. Conclusion. Bhadram karneभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षवीर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु. प्रश्नोपनिषद. May we, O gods, hear what is auspicious with our ears. O ye who are worthy of worship, may we see with our eyes what is auspicious. May we enjoy the life allotted to us by the gods, offering praise with our bodies strong of limb. May Indra of increasing glory bestow prosperity on us. May Pushan, the knower of all, bestow prosperity on us. May Tarksha of unobstructed path bestow prosperity on us. May Brihaspati bestow prosperity on us. Om, peace, peace, peace. Translation by S. Radhakrishnan. Appendix. An overview of the Vedic corpus. वेद, mantras in Samhita, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. Mantras 10,552, 7,154, 1,549 and 6,077. Aitareya, Shankhayana, Shukla, Shatapatha, Krishna, Taittiriya. तांड्य महाब्राह्मण गोपथ आरण्यक ऐतरेय कौशितकी शुक्ल यजुर्वेद बृहदारण्यक कृष्ण यजुर्वेद तैतरीय आरण्यक जैमिनीय तलवकार अथर्व उपनिषद has none. Upanishads ऋग्वेद ऐतरेय कौशितकी यजुर्वेद शुक्ल यजुर्वेद बृहदारण्यक ईशावास्य उपनिषद कृष्ण यजुर्वेद तैतरीय उपनिषद कठ उपनिषद छांदोग्य उपनिषद केन उपनिषद फ्रॉम सामवेद and from अथर्ववेद प्रश्न उपनिषद मुंडक उपनिषद and मांडुक्य उपनिषद. अथर्ववेद 20 कांड संहिता शौनक and पिप्पलाद. ब्राह्मण गोपथ वैतान श्रौत सूत्र कौशिक गृह्य सूत्र कौशिक गृह्य सूत्र आरण्यक उपनिषद मुंडक मांडुक्य प्रश्न महावाक्य अयमात्मा ब्रह्म. Next chapter, an introduction to the Vedangas. In the 4 sections of the first chapter, we explored the 4 Vedas and their significance. These Vedas are regarded as the foundation of the Indian knowledge system. However, the language of the Vedas is archaic and challenging to comprehend. A strong command on the language is essential for understanding the Vedas and accordingly following the path of Dharma as prescribed by them. To facilitate this, the ancient sages developed 6 disciplines that aid in understanding the language and implementing the practices mentioned in the Vedas. These 6 disciplines are known as Vedangas, the limbs of the Vedas. Just as a body is incomplete without limbs, so too are the Vedas in the absence of any of these 6 Vedangas. The Vedas are often compared to a human being, Purusha, with each Vedanga representing a specific limb of the Veda Purusha. Let us now take a brief look at the Vedangas and their content. Vedanga content limb. Shiksha phonetics nose. Vyakarana grammar mouth. Nirukta etymology ears. Chandas meter feet. Jyotish astronomy eyes. Kalpa manuals on rituals hands. Do you know? The Vedangas are compared to specific limbs of the human body based on their respective functions. For instance, Shiksha is likened to the nose as it teaches the articulation of letters. Vyakarana is regarded as the mouth since it instructs the correct usage of words. Jyotisha Jyotisha is compared to the eyes as it enables one to determine the proper timing for performing a yajna. As you delve deeper into the 6 Vedangas in the following chapters, You will gain a deeper understanding of the significance of this comparison. What is the peculiarity of Vedangas? As we have seen in the previous chapters, the Vedic corpus is vast. If the Vedanga literature were equally extensive, the study of the Vedas would become an arduous task. To address this, the Vedangas were primarily composed in the sutra style. Sutras are concise statements that eliminate unnecessary words while maintaining coherence, much like pearls strung together on a thread. For instance, Panini's Ashtadhyayi, a seminal work on grammar, contains around 4,000 sutras that are structured for easy memorization. One such sutra, Ikoyanachi, succinctly conveys the rule that when the vowel e, u, ro, and lu are followed by another vowel, they transform into the corresponding consonants y, r, l, and v. We will explore this further in the chapter of Vyakaranam. Now, let us proceed to learn about the six Vedangas in the subsequent sections of this chapter. Hari Om. We continue in next.